If you ever wondered what Monument Valley would look and feel like with additional puzzle and gameplay mechanics, then I will introduce you to Aarik and the Ruined Kingdom. What this game does so well is it introduces lots of different ideas into the Monument Valley style perspective is everything mix. If you've never played one of those types of games before, Aarik and the Ruined Kingdom is a game that's viewed from 4 compass point directions, and you switch around the perspective by pressing and holding the right mouse button or rotating around with the shoulder buttons on your controller, and you'll flip around, and what that will do is it will join disparate paths up together that now look and feel joined up so that you can move between them. The flip side is that obviously things will then become broken up, or sometimes a visual cue will get in the way, and that will kind of get rid of something that's hidden in plain sight so that you don't have to deal with it anymore. The beauty of Aarik and the Ruined Kingdom, though, is that after the first intro few levels, it kind of goes, well, that's nice, but we want to do more, and this is where the crux of the game comes in. You're introduced to several different gems. A new gem is introduced as you go to each environment throughout the game, playing as Aarik and sometimes his mother as you try to put the world back to rights and restore the Ruined Kingdom. Each platform has its encrusted gem next to it, so it kind of gives you an indication about what it can do. Red gems allow you to pick up and move things around, and so that might be pieces of platform that have become fragmented so that you can move them between different states of being. It could be that you're turning a machine on or off, or it could be that you're moving things around to put them on pressure pads, which will then cause something else to happen instead. They're quite often tied with purple gems, which are cogs that you can spin and rotate around so that you can reveal things in the world, or again turn on or off machines so that you can kind of switch things around as well as moving perspective. Blue gems are much more kind of taking control of sentient things, so it could be that you're moving pillars around, it could be that you're controlling machines and moving them and taking over their mind and moving them to specific locations and then stopping them. Quite often, again, this is all tied to pressure pads so that you've got something on the pad to enable something to happen or to move them off. And so it's that kind of wider thinking of this isn't just perspective shifting, there's other things at play too, that makes Aarik and the Ruined Kingdom a interesting game to play. The levels are quite streamlined, and so what that means is that you only ever have a few key decisions to make, and that means that players won't necessarily get overwhelmed with this game. Instead, they'll be making informed choices based on the colours and the environments of what's around you and the perspective shifts. And so it's more about unpicking the order of what you need to do rather than making the choices of, I've got so many different things I could potentially do, what do I do that's the right one? The choices kind of funnel out slightly towards the end of the game, but not too much. And so I wouldn't say that this is going to absolutely melt your brain. It's more engaging than it is difficult. And that's a good distinction to make, because I think that makes Aarik and the Ruined Kingdom much more approachable for the cosy and casual side of things that don't want to cry over difficulty levels. There is also an additional side quest around finding a crown emblem on a wall or somewhere in the level that you can click on for all of the additional Steam achievements that are on this game. I found that quite a nice little mini hidden object bonus, totally not really related to the game itself in terms of like you need them to complete them, but a good fun little extra to have. And those fun little extras were required because my main criticism of this game is nothing to do with the gameplay or the sound or the graphics or the design of anything at all. It's its stability. This game has crashed on me constantly on PC, and the developer is very responsive in fixing things as they're being found out, but it feels like this has been released a couple of weeks earlier than what it perhaps should have done for bug testing, because there were levels where the character doesn't show up. I've had the game just crash to desktop like every third level. I've had levels that just freeze and hang, and sometimes it's repeated and it's blocked my progress until it's solved so that I can then get through and forward. I don't know if some of this is tied to the fact that I played the demo ages ago and maybe it's caused some problems, because it's like my progress carried over into the main game and that seemed to cause issues. So maybe this will be less of a problem for other people. But it's been quite disheartening that my gameplay joy has been really marred by the severe buggy nature of this game. And so it's with a heavy heart to say I would probably avoid this for another couple of weeks, or purchase it when you spot it on like a launchy discount, but don't touch it for a few weeks, because these bugs are being cleared very quickly, but they shouldn't really have been there at launch. So my overall scoring is going to match the potential of how this game would feel like without the bugs, because I'm quite confident that they'll all be fixed eventually, because there's a hot patch going in on this game like literally every 6 or 10 hours that fixes something. It's just, it felt a bit needless to get that far. So yeah, Aarik and the Ruined Kingdom, big thumbs up from me from the gameplay perspective. Just give it a couple of weeks whilst all the problems are ironed out first. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.